So for the last topic of the day, we are going to learn how to graph a circle given its equation in standard form. So before we learn how to graph a circle, first of all, what is a circle and what is the standard equation for it? So first of all, a circle is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant, so equidistant means equal distance from a fixed point called the center. The fixed distance from the center is called the radius, and it is denoted by r, where r is greater than 0. So the radius has to be greater than 0. Right? So what does it mean? So what we know, you guys probably already know stuff about the circle. So we know, okay, I'm going to draw it this way. Okay, so what is a circle? So it means that, so if I have this center, okay, pretend that it's the dead middle, what it means is that no matter what point you pick on this circle, so here, 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 it doesn't matter. These are all the same length, okay, and these are all called the radius. Right? So that is what a circle is. So now suppose we have a circle that is centered at the point HK and has radius r. Okay, so let me draw it over here. So there's a center. Okay, we'll call this HK, and then here's r, which is our radius, and it goes to and this point we'll call it xy. Right? So to derive the standard equation of a circle, we can actually use the distance formula. Right? So why can we do that? Because if you think about this, we want to find this radius. The radius is considered our distance, right? It's the distance between HK, our center, and XY, which is a point outside the circle, right? So what is the distance formula? The distance formula equals the square root of x2 minus x1 quantity squared plus y2 minus y1 quantity squared. Right? So again, r is our d. Okay, and then it doesn't matter. Let's say x1 y2 is equal to hk, and then x2 y2 is equal to xy. Right? So let's plug these in. So we have r is equal to the square root. X2 is just x. X1 is h, quantity squared, plus y2 is y, and then y1, oops, that's supposed to be a 1 right here. Y1 is k, and then quantity squared. Right? So we could do this, but let's, for standard equation, I don't want the square root, so I'm just going to square both sides. When I square both sides, I get r squared is equal to x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared, right? And this is the standard equation of a circle, right? So to be more formal, so the standard equation of a circle, we have is centered at hk with radius r, and it is given by x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to r squared, where r is positive. So take note that if a circle is centered at the origin, then h is 0 and both h and k are 0. So the equation would simplify to x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Right? So over here, we have steps to graph a circle, and we will follow those steps when we do these couple of examples. For example 1, we want to find the center and radius of the circle, then graph the circle. So the equation we're given is x plus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared is equal to 9. So we're going to follow the steps to graph a circle up here. So the very first step is says make the equation look like the standard equation of a circle. So we want to make it look like x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. So really note that the standard equation, there's minuses between the h and the k, for the h and the k. So yeah, so h is positive when there's a minus there, right? So, and same with k. So if I want to rewrite this, so I would have x plus 1 quantity squared here. How am I going to rewrite this to make it the equation of the standard circle? I'm going to do x minus, and this is going to be negative 1 quantity squared, because x minus a negative 1 is the same as saying x plus 1 quantity squared. Y minus 2, it's already in form, so there's nothing to change. And then over here I have r squared, but over here I have 9. So what squared is equal to 9? It's going to be 3 squared, right? So now that it is in a standard equation of a circle, now we can find the center and the radius. So the center, right, is hk, all right, and our hk is negative 1, positive 2. Right? And the radius, okay, the radius is r, and it's r squared, so in our case, radius is equal to 3, right? So now that we found the center and the radius of the circle, now we can graph the circle. So how are we going to graph it? The very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to plot the center. So the center is negative 1, 2, up here, right? So now how am I going to find the points around the circle? So recall that the circle, so if I have a circle, okay, there's a center, I'm equidistant. So no matter which point I pick on the circle, it will be the same distance. So we're going to use this to our advantage. So what's the distance between this? This is the radius. So we know the radius is 3. So what am I going to do? I'm going to plot points from the center with knowing the radius. So what points am I going to plot? I'm going to plot the points from the top, left, bottom, and right. Okay, I'm not going to do diagonal because that is too much work. Okay, because with the diagonal, you'd have to compute the distance. So the best way is just plot these 4 points because it's really easy to count 1, 2, 3, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So that is the easiest way, right? So now we're going to sketch the circle. So since I have this tool, I'm gonna try. Oh, so that's not how I wanted it to work. So actually, okay, so maybe let me draw a circle with radius 3 real fast. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this. Nice. Right? So I know on Alex, you just have the plotting tool, so you can do it that way. So I know you don't have to plot it by hand, and I know for the test you won't have to. One thing I do want to say, so when you move on to college algebra, you'll have to know how to do this. So, but normally, since you're not given a compass, if like your circle looks like not the best, all right, but if you clearly marked which points that you're plotting, okay, the teacher, normally the teachers won't care. Like I wouldn't care as long as I could clearly see what points you were plotting, and as long as I could tell you were making a good effort trying to make a circle, because making circles is very hard, right? So this is the graph of our circle, the graph of a circle that looks like with the equation x plus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equal to 9, right? So now let's plot another circle, and then we will be done for the day. So our second example, we want to find the center and the radius, and then graph the circle of x squared plus y squared is equal to 4. right? So again, what is our first step? Our first step is we want to make it look like the standard equation of a circle. So to do that, okay, so maybe I'll bring this back up down with us. All right, so we want it to look like this, right? So I have x squared plus y squared equals 4, so how am I going to rewrite this? So since there's nothing over here, I can do x minus 0 quantity squared. So this is the exact same because x minus 0 is the same. It's like saying 3 minus 0, that's still 3. 100 minus 0, that's still 100, right? So x minus 0 quantity squared is still the same as x squared. Again, so for y squared, this can be rewritten as y minus 0 quantity squared. And then over here, I want it to be r squared. So what squared is equal to 4? And that is 2 squared is equal to 4. Now that it is in a standard equation, we can find the center. So what is our center? Our center is still hk, and our hk in this case is 0, 0, which is the origin. And then our radius is 2, right? So again, when you plot a circle, you always plot the center first. So the center is the origin, so 0, 0. And then to find points around the circle, I'm going to use this radius, start at the center, and then count 2 from north, west, south, and east. Right. So 1, 2, 2, 2, and 2. Right. So one thing I didn't mention above. So as you notice, no line goes through the center, right? So it's just the center. Okay. Yeah. So you plot the points that are around it, right? The 4 points that we plotted last. So now let's graph. So instead of using my own drawing, I'm going to do this. So again, I'm going to use the same method. You don't have to worry about it, but I'm just going to make a radius of 2. Right. Nice. Right. So this is our circle. Right. So these are all the topics and examples today. So tomorrow we will be learning how to find equations of a circle, and we will be using the midpoint formula, the distance formula, and then knowing the concept of what a circle is. Right. So make sure you do your work tonight. Right. So or tomorrow might be a little confusing. Right, so that is it. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. If not, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.